But I was in college. I was a psych major, whatever that's worth. And one of my favorite, if not my favorite classes, was involving something called perception and awareness. And the distinction might have been subtle, the distinction might have been a little bit nuanced, but perception and awareness were critical. What you see, what you feel, what you're aware of. But I also want to throw in another one, reality. And reality is what you think is real. What you're seeing, what you believe to be true, or what your friends tell you is real, depends on a lot more than just what you're actually taking in. It's what your friends reinforce. It's what your reality is. And it also has to do with your level of involvement in a particular subject matter. This is something which is really, really critical. As you know, every year, whenever we have the World Series, a lot of people don't care at all about the World Series. But to other people, it's the most important thing in the world. To you, it doesn't really matter. Of the 333 whatever million Americans, not everybody cares about this. Not everybody is focused on this. We're on it. We're in it. We're within it. We're everywhere. We're immersed in this. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are involved in it, sort of. Sort of. There's a brand new level of conservative involvement. And this is women who want so much to be sexy, who are now coming forward, I guess, on Twitter to say, look, I'm a sexy woman and look how sexy I am. And there's an excuse just to be in a bathing suit or whatever it is, which is fine. No problem. But everybody's got their involvement. And to many people, that's it. Everybody has their level of involvement, their level of connection. Everybody. Remember when I'm telling you this, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what your sense of reality is. It's what they think. And right now we're looking at the beginning of tomorrow is going to be one of the most important days ever. This is the beginning of the DNC in Chicago. And it may be 1968 all over again. I don't want there to be violence. I'm not hoping for violence. I don't want to say praying for violence. I don't want there to be any violence or anybody hurt, any property damage. I don't want any of that. Nobody benefits from this. But I do want to make sure one thing, that if there is violence, if there is property damage, if there is destruction, that the same application of self-expression is permitted and applied to those violent uprisers as we saw during the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots. Does that make sense to you? Okay, couple things. I got to share this one with you. I mentioned this yesterday regarding Kamala, the clueless, radical, left woke sock puppet with a teleprompter and an earpiece. Watch her drastic change in presentation. They got her to stop laughing. They got her to stop yammering. This is a very, very important thing. They got her to stop saying this. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? They got her to stop saying this. Absolutely important. Absolutely critical. They got her to stop doing this. And what's interesting about it is that it throws everything off. It throws her off. They got her to stop doing this, but it throws her off because that's not her style. For the longest time, that was her thing, and it was okay. She was basically, they told her, look, whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter. You're the vice president, just do her thing. And nobody cared. And she would go and she would talk about this and that, and she would talk about her and the yellow bus and the community banks and space, and they laughed, and she kind of dug it, but it didn't really matter. Well, it matters now. And now she's like a fish out of water. And it's very strange because she doesn't really know what to do. The other day when she had the announcement of her economic plan, there were 250 people there. Trump has 250 people in the men's room. This is ridiculous. And they know this. But they're always trying to tell you something else to change your reality. Oh, no, the economy's doing great. Well, the statistics go, people say, what are you talking about? And the thing which nobody seems to understand or grasp is that Americans are not stupid. And what really bothers people the most, and I've been saying this, I've been saying, Black America, Black America, Black America. What are you doing to go after Black America? Remember, Black America, Latinos, and gay people. They're sitting there and they're always taken for granted. They're always just assumed. Democrats did that. They go, oh, black people, we own the black. I know it sounds terrible. It sounds like shades of possessory ownership or chattel ownership. But they always think, oh, blacks are with it. Not necessarily. One of the dumbest people, period, anywhere, is this fellow by the name of Don Lemon. Now, Don Lemon is, for some reason, I don't know why he's still allowed to get near a microphone. And Don Lemon is delusional and labors under the delusion and under the misperception that somehow he has something to say, that he's relevant, that he's likable, sexy, hot. I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the word is. And delusion is a wonderful and a great thing. Here he is walking along the boardwalk in Atlantic City. And you may or may not have seen this, but if you have not, enjoy this. This is Don Lemon talking to regular citizens, and why we see this, why this wasn't edited out altogether or just thrown away, I have no idea. Watch this.
Here in Jersey, Atlantic City. Who do you support?
I'll plead the fifth.
Trump for the win.
Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No.
Nope.
No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
Your money's on Harris.
Yeah,
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
Oh, she don't have any experience.
She's the vice president. She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No. She has no experience.
Yeah.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military and the world in general.
She was a prosecutor and attorney general and a senator and a vice president. You're in a gambling town. Who's your money on?
I'm going to support the Democratic Party, but, I mean, Trump looks like he got it in the bag right now.
4 years ago, it was a lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
Yep.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy is actually better under Biden.
Look
No,
at
I'm
this.
serious.
What,
That's what the
did you
facts
watch
show.
CNN?
Okay, you know what?
No, that's not because I watch CNN. Trump or Harris?
Trump.
That's
Look at
who's
this.
going to win.
Watch this.
That's who's going to win.
Who you support?
I support Trump. All the people that came to this country legally, it's not fair that they're letting all 10,000 to 15,000
Yep.
people or 20,000 people here illegally. Have you seen San Diego? Yeah. They're coming off the boats, off the water right here, off the ocean. Did you know Biden was flying them in? Did you know Biden was flying them in? You didn't know that?
Oh, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump. Our economy was good. Life was good.
But you know the economy's better under Biden than Trump.
Bullshit.
That's what the stats show. That's what the facts show.
Well, you know what? I don't know where they're getting their facts, but I don't think they're valid. I don't know where their facts are coming from.
This sometimes so perfectly says the truth. I love the truth. And I love when people say, no. That's not the way we see it. It's like this. There is, and if you read the, remember, there's anticipation right now of tomorrow. We'll talk about this in a moment, but DNC starts tomorrow. I hope it's not going to be a 1968 redux, as it were, but it's going to be something which is extremely, very serious. Now, the American people, like I tell you, right now, this is not top of mind awareness. I know to most people, they're 79 days away. Okay. And most people, you got to understand something, are not as attuned to what's happening as we are. I'm sorry, but it's true. They don't listen every single day. They're not watching every moment of this. No. But there's a feeling. Okay. And right now, people are saying, okay, all right. Let me rephrase that. There are some people who love Donald Trump and they're just absolutely ecstatic over everything and anything he does. No matter what he does, they love it. There are other people who are they hate what he does, but listen to me and listen carefully. This may shock people. Nobody is crazy about Kamala Harris. Crypto Domini says, love it, Uncle Lenny. Thank you from Big Dick out of Chicago. This is your town, my friend. It's a toddling town, Windy City. Tomorrow it starts. They're coming in right now, and I hope to God it's a great city. It's a great town. I mean it. I've been there many times and dig the whole Chi-Town thing and whatever. And I don't want anything to happen there. I really don't. So humanity, every time there's a riot, every time something, we lose. But there are people right now in this country who are animals, with all due respect to animals. There are people in the world who are devoid of any sense of connection, connectivity, responsibility. They're ready to go like that. You can pull them aside. You can say, we're going to go to the Loop. We're going to go to this. And they will say, we'll be there. Right there. People who seemingly, I say, I didn't know this. People who are violent, people who are ready to go, people who will torch and loot, and white, black, doesn't matter. Give them some type of imprimatur, some type of okay, some sense of now we're going to do this. And they are all over it. They are animals, and they are kept down for the time being by virtue of law and order. It's like I told you, it's like that E. coli kind of a Monilia candida, gut biota balance. Whenever something's out, when women sometimes will take certain, I hate to keep bringing this up, but it's a great analogy. Antibiotics, all of a sudden there's a yeast infection. Why? Because this balance, the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, all of it is affected. Okay, fine. Now, here's what we're looking at. And this is the critical story. This is all that is critical, and it's important for you to understand and grasp and understand and really, really see what's happening. Watch this week. Everybody is waiting for the big. They've walked into the room and they're seeing the beautiful salad bar in the middle. They're looking at the dessert trays over there. They're looking at the beautifully appointed room. It's a rehearsal or something. It's some room. Look at, oh my God, it's going to be great. And people are coming in, and they're right now as we speak, they're so happy to be there for Kamala. And the other guy, you notice how Timmy is nowhere to be found. You notice that? Have you noticed that? He's just gone. They said that was a mistake. That was a mistake. And he's gone. You hear what I'm saying? He's gone. He's gone. He's here like this. And already they said, oh, okay, that wasn't good. So now they're turning to her. Where has she been? The other day she had her first big moment, and everybody's laughing at her. Everybody from the Washington Post, the CNN, everybody's saying, what are you talking about? She's a joke. Now, other people like Don Lemon, who is a little boy trying so hard to be taken seriously, being taken seriously as a person, as a man, as a reporter, whatever it is. And I've been with these people. You have to understand something. There used to be a person in the world. Let me see if I can explain this. There used to be a person who went to Ivy League schools, the big ones, when they mattered, when Harvard mattered, and they went out and they tried to get a job with the New York Times, or they were sent overseas to be the correspondent in the Middle East. And they were smart people, and they were almost professorial in their take. They really were. And Charles Cullingwood. Brad Rung says, I heard a rumor she will be switching VP candidate. Now, what difference does it make? Now, Admit defeat? You think she's going to admit defeat? What has he done? They're going to say, why stop whatever this momentum? That would mean a lot of things, Brad. It would mean that the VP case is more important than hers, that they admit defeat. No, they're not. They don't care about that because they figure we got this. You know what I mean? They got it. It's just not. There's no passion for or against him. He's just kind of there. He's not going to get in the way. No. I mean, we always say, I could be wrong. I love when people say that. I was like, well, of course you could be wrong. But let me go back to what I'm saying. But thank you for that. I don't know when it happened, but all of a sudden, right around Ted Baxter, when TV became what it was, they had some people, and there were folks on TV. You know, Walter Cronkite was not exactly a looker. Dan Rather was, I mean, I'm trying to think of who, Huntley and Brinkley. These people were like your dads, or they were serious. They had gravitas. I mean, the newsman, Frank Reynolds and Peter Jennings, to an extent, you might say, but that was their thing. Somewhere along the line, I don't know when it is, they brought these nincompoops in. And then we got into let's have the people who, like the PM magazine, Gary, remember that guy? What was his name? Gary something from CBR in the Morning. Anyway. And then the people with the hair, the John Davidson look. And then we brought in the model look and the Betty Finesse look. And then the next thing you know, we turn into Ron Burgundy and Ted Baxter. And that's where we are right now. And that's where it's been. And then we got into this one. Let's have the black woman, the Indian woman. We have to have the white men only if they're counterbalanced. And the news went away. Here entered Don Lemon. Don Lemon came in there. Fredo Cuomo. These other people. I don't know what happened. Fredo went off the rails. Remember when he was doing this? Hey, I'm lifting weights. Look at me. I'm doing 100-pound dumbbell behind my head. Tricep extensions with 100-pound. Anyway. This is where we are. We're off the reservation. So some moron gave that moron a microphone, or he did it on his own. I don't know. And said, go out and talk to people. And we've lost this. So then you've got these poor people like that Caitlin, whatever her name, Colin, whatever, who looks like she's angry all the time. She's there, and people are trying and vying so much to break through this. You even seen in words like breaking points. Boy, I gotta tell you something. Just time out. I don't know if you don't care about this. It's too inside baseball. When Sagar is not there, I know this. You're saying who? Sagar and Crystal. When Sagar's not there and Crystal's on her own. Oh no. This turns into Gigglebox. Gigglebox. It loses its. And like I was so like no. Sagar is the anchor. He makes it reality. Oh, let me tell you something. Just as another aside, balance is really weird in this business. You either have it or you don't. That notwithstanding. So tomorrow, they're going to be there and people are going to be happy because there's a party. I've seen this. We were at the Minneapolis St. Paul RNC with McCain and Sarah Palin. It was the strangest thing. People walking around in cowboy hats. People walking around this. Yay. It's a party. Okay. It's not only a sugar high. It's Woodstock meets this, meets that. It's where all of these supposed movers and shakers move. And there's nothing better than somebody from a particular part of the country who thinks They run the show. I'm a part of party leadership. I'm the Chicago party. I'm the Ohio. I'm the Democratic co-chair for Forsyth County of okay, whatever. And they all meet and they think they run the show. They really do. And they mingle and they talk. Now, meanwhile, they're trying to say, okay, Kamala, here's your earpiece. Now we're going to go with this if we need it. Okay. I might give you instructions, very, very little, very few, like don't look left, look, whatever, just to keep you in store because you've never done this before. They're putting her through the testing. If they're not, they should be. I want you to know how to look at the crowd. When you walk out, remember they have people like Spielberg and others, they're going to put together, watch the film or the composite. You will wonder, who are they talking about? You're going to see some of the best Hollywood stagecraft ever. They're going to put this together and they're going to make it sound like she is the greatest thing you've ever seen. Tim, not so much. A little bit about him, but they realize we screwed up with him. He's lost it. The hand dancing, the jazz hands, all this. He's just, and they're really playing up now for some reason. Some memes, and this is weird, they're playing up a little bit of kind of the effeminate side. Just like all of a sudden, every woman who all of a sudden says, I want to put a picture of myself in a bikini. Well, there's this new meme that says conservative women, I'll do it. Well, wait a minute. You're not a conservative. I don't care. I want to put myself in the bikini. Who is a woman? Some congresswoman or somebody she's DeLorean. I don't even know who she is. She put pictures of herself in a one piece. Okay, fine. This is what women look like. And now everybody's going crazy with this. Crypto says Don Lemon came from Real News out of Chicago, then went fake in CNN. Bull crap. Thank you for that. Well, he might have been, but that's not what he wants to be. Now, remember, by the way, let me go through this again. Watch what's happening in this new thing about women. Let me tell you about, how do I say this? Let me tell you about one of the themes and one of the memes, and I think it's very, very good, but it sometimes goes off the rail of conservatism. Conservatives love to talk about testosterone and women and men and masculinity. They like to make fun of soy boys and they love to do this. They love it. And you know what? I will rather have people do that than have that freak who's Kamala's stepdaughter talking about, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Give me somebody who says man, woman, prototypical, masculine, feminine. But I'll take that any day versus whatever this is. Okay? Because that's a mental illness. Let me say this to you right now, and I think you know this. People who exhibit this kind of behavior are not mentally ill, but they are more mentally ill exhibiting this kind of behavior than you can imagine. Does that make sense to you? There is this, and I hope to God that there are film crews, film teams, film collectives there to take pictures of every freak there is. Put this together. President Trump, Lara Trump. Lara's another one. Lara, you know, is dying to jump. Can I do the bikini shot? Lara, please, you're a mother. Stop it. Can I please do it? Can I please do it? And then old Kimberly Guilfoyle, don't you even think about it. Come on, please. Ivanka, can we do it? I'm telling, I don't know where this came from. I don't know where this came from. When I grew up and you grew up, women would say, I got a bikini. I'm going to the beach. I put the bikini on, and that's it. Today, they're constantly saying, did you see me? Am I hot? Yeah, okay, you're hot. Am I hot? Look, I'm at Wendy's. I want to get a Frosty. What are you doing? Just stop it. You're behind the counter. Am I hot? Yes. Oh, boy, are you. It's demented. Ryan says, this economic policies revealed by the Harris campaign are so economically illiterate and laughable that it smacks of desperation because either their internal polls are dismal or they know Kamala is going to blow this. Or, Ryan, thank you, or they just don't care. always err on the side, and please don't say Occam's razor. Please, I beg you. Always err on the side of just, they didn't do it. Trump's not watching the message either, by the way. They're not, they just, and in a way, he's kind of, they figure, look, he's Trump is Trump. We don't have to tell people who he is. That's the way he is. But I hope that somebody will be walking around and saying, let me ask you something. Will there ever come a point where you will say, okay, we have enough illegals here. We have to shut it down. We just literally have no room. What do you mean? Well, you see this room we're in right now, whatever this convention center is. You see this? Yes. Okay. In this room, there's a maximum number of people that we can have. And the fire department will say, you cannot have 10,000 people in a room that fits 2,000, right? Okay. Do you see anything? Have you ever said a part of anything where you have said, we have too many people? The great Edie Crowley says, being a defector from the radical left gets confusing and lonely. The level of hate for Trump was the one red flag that kept waving for me. I have to keep my mouth shut and my eyes open. Oh, absolutely. And remember, Edie, you don't have to defect anything. Trump is not right wing. I know this may shock you. He's so middle of the road. It's not even funny. There's nothing. He's not Barry Gold. Well, he's not the way Barry Gold, because Barry Goldwater is not Barry Goldwater. Trump is just ordinary. I'm sorry, but it's true. Mainstream media was made by decades of Operation Mockingbird. To an extent, yes. Operation Mockingbird, of course, that's Phil Graham. That's the Washington. And by the way, Washington, the Mockingbird gave us Watergate. It's part of that. But it's also something which is different too. And let me see if I can explain this to you. How many of you, dear friends, there is a wonderful documentary we saw. I thought it was great, on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. The DCCL, they have a name for it, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. And the cheerleaders were like this, go team. All right, okay. They didn't even have they may have had a mascot, but people were there. You know, it was Lambeau Field, the vice to John Facenda, the voice of God, and Lambeau Field, the icy tundra. Dick Butkus, number 51, the best. All right. Then all of a sudden, somebody said, let's bring in a bunch of women in, dancing and cheerleaders and sex them up. Ta-da! It was a part of the movement. This may come as a surprise to you, but scantily clad, supposedly wholesome women, cheerleaders, were not always a part of the sport. It was also where we are going. Crypto says, I love the point about it's mental illness exhibiting more than it is being an illness. It is, mental illness. Let me give you an example. If tomorrow I said, okay, let's do Wag the Dog. Everybody get together. All right. Let's come up with something. Everybody throw your suggestions in the bag or whatever it is. And let's see what we can do. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can figure out something important. Let's see if we can look at let's come up with people who think they are reindeer and speak Esperanto and have tattoos, and we'll just come up with this stuff, okay? And we'll just come up. We'll come up with this, and we'll agree with it. Ready? Is this our final one? Yes. Okay. You got it? Got it. All right. Whatever this is, planking, people wearing thongs, whatever it is, because I love the way fads start. I get on the phone and call up Dom Luker, call up whoever you want, whoever. Mr. Beast, whatever that's about, but whoever is in charge of this, and say, do me a favor, we're all doing an experiment. Starting tomorrow, artificially pretend that this is a new fad. Okay. By noon, people will be doing it. By noon. I promise you. So, in addition to everything else, if you look at murmurations, if you look at Le Bon and crowds, if you look at Bernays, if you look at a lot of things, people will do things and exhibit behaviors that make absolutely no sense whatsoever, and people will just exhibit them. And pretty soon, when you say, listen, by the way, I was kidding. Years ago, there was something called the cigar bar. Now, I grew up in Campbell, and my grandparents were cigar makers, or cigars, as we say in Ybor City. And I had the best of the best of the best. Everybody's in. It was the best cigars, hand rolled, West Tampa. I used to, and you would get them. They didn't even have cellophane on them. They went straight to your humidor or whatever it was, or you put them in your fridge because you smoked them so fast it didn't even matter. And you'd have a sash, a silk sash. There was no box. There was no label. There was no nothing. You went and you got them, and you took this thing and you tied them, and that's it. That's the way everybody smoked cigars in Tampa. It was the greatest thing in the world. It was the old cigar factories and this and that. Okay. Corral y Bolisca, all right. 1980 something. I remember all of a sudden, here comes Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh's on there's a show called, a magazine called Cigar Aficionado. Marvin Shanken, I think it was. And all of a sudden they were rating him. Cohibas, Romeo and Juliet, Oyo de Monterrey, Rengue, Maduro, and they destroyed it. And then they had cigar bars. Crypto says, exactly, my friend in New Zealand going after Ponzi schemes calls it Chinese whispers. Ooh, I like that. I don't know what that means, but I like that. Thank you. So then they have these cigar bars, and you would go and they have a little box where you can lock your cigars. You had a locker, and you would go there and there was a cigar bar that Rudy and everybody was going to, Al Sharpton. They'd spend a fortune to be a member of this club because when they had also smoking rules. All right, make a long story short, they destroyed it. People would walk around with their Cohiba wrapper on the cigar. That was the biggest joke. Where I'm from, you left a wrapper on there? That's like leaving a tag on your suit. What are you doing? It wasn't a look at me. Hey, we're gonna smoke a cigar. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. It meant nothing, but they ruined it. Okay, make a long story short. I know that was a long intro. I said if ever I'm really famous, I'm gonna have. There was a time when we used to get into to chewing tobacco, but chaw. This wasn't a long period, but if you were mowing the lawn, Taylor's Pride. It was a chaw. Had a knife, cut the end off, and you would spit. You would spit. You have a spit cup, and some people would do snuff. This was chaw, loose leaf chaw, not worm dirt. This was different. So I said, I'm going to come out and say, I want to thank the Academy. Open up the knife. For this, pull out it was Taylor's Pride. It was in a foil. It was a big plug. I want to thank Eddie Mercati, the director. And I want to have spitting bars. I want to have, and all of this made up, all of this manufactured, all of this I would just lie about. And I would have a magazine about the best chaws, how to spit, how to walk around with the different ways to get spittle out of your shirt. And then when everybody was fully ensconced, fully a part of this new fad that I created out of whole cloth, I'm going to say, guess what? It's a joke. I didn't mean a word of it. And they'll say, oh, this is a joke? It's a joke. So you didn't mean this. Not a word of it. Oh. So we're doing this now. Yes. Yes, you are. That's everything today. That's Kamala. phrases like bro, literally, that's tattoos, that's everything. It's what people will do. People need, you don't understand. People need to be a part of a movement. They have nothing themselves. There's nothing internally regulating what they do. There's nothing that tells them where to go. They want to be told. That's all. Yesterday, Mrs. Ellen and I were tooling about, and we're driving around some little neighborhood in Jersey, and we always kind of look to see who's who. And they had two Harris Walls yard signs. One was black background with Harris and big letters and Walls, a little smaller. And then was with a blue background. It was the most nondescript thing. It was as though they did this on their own. I want you to understand something, and I want you to listen to me, and I want you to close your eyes and stop thinking for a moment and ask yourself this question. Do you feel, and I know sometimes people you get into a really hard time with it. Do you feel a real excitement about Kamala? Remember when Barack Obama, that thing was legitimate. You said, this guy's got it. Everybody was, when Jesse Jackson, when he came out with his wife and the two little daughters, and it was, I got to think of myself, I thought, damn, we have come a long way. This is good. I'm sorry. Jesse Jackson was crying. And you can argue why it is. You can say it's because of, I'll let that up to you. But you felt something. John McCain was thinking, oh, forget it. And Sarah Palin, I don't even know what that is. I always thought they were kind of a ringer. Do you feel that right now? Do you see people? Kamala has this thing now, forward. The person who came up with this sign, the same guy who did Obama, I guess, forward. What does that mean? It's like, even that is vague. What does this mean? Don't you understand this? Don't you see kind of where this is? It's they're trying, but it's not there. And you're going to see, I'm telling my friends, do you remember? You probably don't remember Michael Dukakis. Remember poor Michael? Remember Kitty Dukakis? Oh, she drank the what was it? She drank the mouthwash. I mean, it was terrible. All these stories about her, and so sad, And he was a governor, and Bernard Shaw says, "Mr. Governor, if your wife was assaulted and murdered, would you want the death penalty?" "No, I wouldn't, Bernard." It's like, you schmuck. What are you doing? What are you doing? But he was up like 17. It was the most ridiculous. He was through the roof. Romney, they love this guy. The hair, moderate. His wife, he liked him. My head of the Olympics or whatever it was. Romney, he was a good guy. Everybody loved him. He was just. We've seen this. George Herbert Walker Bush had the highest popularity or favorability ratings, maybe in the history of recorded records. And you have to know this, or else you won't be able to interpret what you're seeing. You have to know this. You have to grasp it. You have to know what history mandates, what history involves. It's not just these sort of, I don't know, these I'm telling you. So what you're seeing right now is, keep an eye on this. And nobody, after she came up with her plan, somebody could have just said, okay, here's our plan. Pass it out. What do you guys think? Eye gouging. A price gouging? No. Might as well have been eye gouging. We don't know what that is. $25,000? No, it's not going to work. Go through it. Okay, let's do it again. They could have said something. It's almost like they don't want her to win. They throw her out and they give her these preposterous things. They could have taken somebody. They could have said, listen, we've got some great minds here. I've got some folks where the Jamie Dimons and others will say, okay, well, that's not, But they don't want that. They don't want that. And there's a part of them. Did you see where they're traveling with free abortions or vasectomies or whatever it is? Mobile clinics. Sponsored by Planned Parenthood. Think about what they're saying. You would think somebody would say, excuse me, I don't want you anywhere near our convention. Sterilization and the death of the unborn is not the message we want to put apart. Not now. Not now. How about people who come along all of a sudden and they say, for example, let's have free assessment for puberty blockers and for gender reassignment. Not now. What are you, nuts? Clapton says, bro, would love to have known Rush's thoughts on this insanity. Miss him. I miss him as well. I miss him as well. But I don't know. I think he would still do it. I don't know if his sensibility kind of works today. People are still trying to fill that vacuum. People are still trying to figure it out. I really do, because I don't know of anybody who is even remotely. There's too many people speaking today. There's too many voices, too many people out there. But what I'm telling you, though, is that somebody could have said, give me a plan for Kamala to read. Because she doesn't know what else she's talking about. She'll read it, and people will say, okay. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. I would say, I want you to get that. Do me a favor. What's your daughter-in-law's name or your sister's daughter? Okay, good. Come here, honey. Come here. Here's the money. Get out. Go on a cruise. I don't want to see you. For 3 days, 4 days, whatever the hell this thing is. I don't want to see any freaks. I don't want to see any purple hair. I don't want to see any ring noses. I don't want to see any tats. I don't want to see you fat, ugly freaks lumbering about, reminding people that you're the goofy contingent of this. We've got women over here who are posing, for bikinis. And I got the Rachel Levines. Go away. I don't want to see you. If you ask Kamala, what do you think? She says, oh, I'm a woman. Are you sexy? Damn right I am. Look at when she was young. Look at her with Montel and Willie. Look at this. She'll say, oh, no, I was hot and am hot now. If you don't see this with her, do you have any identification with these people? Hell no. Hell no. And all you have to do is go to the black community and say, does the prototypical African-American voter, do you connect with some guy walking around thinking he's a squirrel and arguing about pronouns, and this guy was some 6'4" guy with a beard and a gold lame? Well, no, that doesn't work. But that's what they do. They're schizophrenic. For the longest time, they said, well, who are these people? Who are these people? And if I had my druthers, Cobbs, by the way, says, good morning, sir. These people are unequivocally sick. Well, they're also, remember what I'm telling you. If you allow the imbalance, there are people in, quote, our group, if you allowed them to rise at the top, you wouldn't recognize them either. These people are weird. We've got some folks out there who are quasi-fascists and have nothing to do with us, but they're theoretically in our group. They're recessed. They don't represent us. But if we turned our back, they'll rise at the top. I got news for you, but those lunatics on January 6th, none of them I relate to. None of them. And I've got to also say something to you. If you think that Steve Bannon speaks for me or any of these other people, you're out of your mind. That is niche conservatism. That's just to fill a gap for people who love that stuff. Do you think Alex Jones, who has been great in the past, do you think he speaks for the average run-of-the-mill rank and file conservative? Hell no. Don't remember, don't confuse what you like with what people like. We are never going to win by having people think that Steve Bannon and those idiots, the guy with the big pot bellies and the flags, and that was the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. It wasn't an insurrection, but it was ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, God's the tree of liberty. Oh, shut up with that. Alex Jones, when he was on with Piers Morgan, I love Alex. I really do. But when he's yelling, 1776, would you stop that? Listen, Thomas Paine, stop it. You're not winning this over. You're not winning it over. This is not the way you do it. This is not the way you do it. And this, I would have film crews, every freak, every lunatic. Is Juicy Smellit going to be there? That was Chi-Town. Is that Fox lady? Is she even, I don't even know. That thing just went away. Remember that one? Remember, who was that? I think Michelle Obama wanted Juicy Smellit. Remember his story? In the middle of the night, on a cold, freezing Chicago night, he decides, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get me a Subway. In the middle of the night, freezing, I'm going to walk around and I'm going to be huddled up and I'm going to wear a hat and it's freezing. And somebody looked at him, two guys walking wearing MAGA hats in Chicago, who happened to have a noose and bleach, said, let's see, we're looking for somebody who might be out at 3 o'clock in the morning, wanting to get a lousy 2-bit Subway. I'm not a big Subway. Anyway, but look, who? Hey, isn't that guy Juicy Smellit from Empire? How do you know that? I can tell. It's 3 in the morning. He's all covered up. He's not exactly, George Clooney in terms of recognizability. Let's get him. Hey, you. We're met. The story stunk. Dave Chappelle knew it, everybody, but they stuck to it. They stuck to it in Chicago. Bring that up. I would have counter protests, no violence. But if there is going to be violence, if there is, let me ask you this. What happens if the violent folks are from Tren de Aragua, from Venezuela? Everybody loves to talk about Venezuela. This. Boy, did you hear her plan? That was pure Venezuela. What do you know about Venezuela? I have no idea what Venezuela is. Don't start that communism stuff either. Well, I don't know it's communism. No, it's not. It's not? Well, is it Venezuela? Where'd you get Venezuela from? I don't know. It's what we call it. No, if you want to talk Venezuela, talk about Tren de Aragua, these vicious animals from... That's what you want to talk about. If they're there, if all of a sudden one night you find that groups of DNC revelers are walking around with their hats on and all of a sudden they're swarmed like they are here in New York City, until the NYPD came in, with these kids swarming them on bikes, like these wolf packs moving in. What are you going to do about that? That's not good for the PR. Hey, those are all illegals. What? Illegals? Huh? Illegals. Uh-oh. Not good. Not good at all. Then comes, you know what I'm talking about, Palestinian protest. Here we go, sports fans. Here we go. This thing is heating up like you cannot believe. Did you see when, who was it? Was it Hezbollah? Who was it who took pictures of Bibi's house in Caesarea? By the way, Caesarea is a really neat place. It's an amphitheater. And it was constructed by Herod. Remember Herod? It was constructed by Herod to honor Caesar, because Caesarea is right there on the water. And so Bibi apparently has a home there, or whatever it was. And there he is, and he's they're flying right over. They go, yep, this is your home. I mean, it's about to hit the fan like you cannot believe. And most Americans, honest to God, most Americans truly, literally, actually have absolutely no idea of what is happening. It's just, I haven't mentioned anything about UFO sightings. I haven't hit anything about Bitcoin going post 60,000. All right. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. And there are internecine battles. Remember, big tech and crypto versus Hollywood. Hollywood's scared out of their minds because they absolutely hate. Hollywood hates Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley hates Hollywood. You got this one? Absolutely, positively nuts. By the way, Candace Owens needs some type of, and I'm going to see. I'm kind of laughing at this. Candace Owens has no idea what she's doing. Candace Owens is on this war path. Candace Owens, just as an aside, I want to give you, and I've seen this before. I've been doing this for a while, and I've seen this before. And people feel they forget what they're doing. They think they're a part of a movement. I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you. DNC, this Candace Owens, Israel, there's a lot of stuff. So get ready. And listen, by the way, if this is hard for you to understand, I understand it. I understand it. If you want somebody to talk about one topic for 20 minutes and they go, okay, here's the second topic. I don't think like that. I don't. Never have. Can't do it. Something will come to me. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go over here. Not that I'm losing track, but I find that more interesting. It's like looking around. It's like you're walking through a bazaar, like you're looking at the various, like the souk, you can go in Jerusalem. They have the Arabs and they're selling this. Oh, look at that. Look at the olives. That's what it is. But I got to tell you something. There are people out there seeing if Candace Owens is stupid enough to go past that tripwire, and then that's it, she's done. Where's Michelle Malkin? I don't know what that story is about. I have no idea. These people, they come, they go, they're here. And I've seen this before, and I got to tell you a little story. When Rush Limbaugh came along in like 85 or so, AM radio in particular was kind of dull. This was really, Stern was in big cities, but it was more of a shock jockey thing. And even then, it wasn't that shock jockey. I thought he was, but Rush was a force to be reckoned with. I remember when on the 17th floor of Two Penn Plaza, which is where we all were at ABC, Rush's office was in the back, and to go out to leave out of the main, go to the main little entranceway, Rush's. You go straight, and Rush had his office in the back. And I remember what that Phil Graham was there. People waiting to see him. You should see. I couldn't believe it. It was like, wow, this guy was serious. Rush had his own entrance. He came in. We found out there was an elevator. I didn't even know this. There was like an elevator. He had his own bathroom. It's like who knew there was a bathroom here? Anyway, but a good guy, great. Rush Limbaugh, I don't care who you were, because he'd walk from the back, have to go past the sales department, all the way to the front. Everybody he treated great. One time he told me, how do we say this? One day, I did this thing. He was walking. And I was saying something, and I said something to him like, Rush, I don't know about you, but I don't want change. I want improvement. If you go to the doctor, he says, your tumors change. Thanks, doc. Wait a minute. Don't you want to know how? And that's it. That's all I did. I walked past. He gets in there, and I guess it was on his mind, and he says, I just ran into a friend of mine, and I got, this is before cell phones. I never realized how big this guy was. Okay, fine. That's the setup. Everybody wanted to be Rush Limbaugh. all these radio people came along. All these people think, oh, I'm doing overnights and whatever. And I got the voice, and I want to be the Rush Limbaugh too. They go, no. Rush knows something about politics. You don't. Oh, I could do that too. No. You're doing Mac Wax of Stacks, and you're doing the puker voice, and no. Well, anyway, they all wanted to do it. And then eventually someone would come forward. And then all of a sudden, somebody would come forward and he says, you know what? They quoted me in the paper. What? When we had the newspaper. I'm in the Cleveland Picayune, or I'm in the whatever it is. They quoted me. I've been doing radio for 35 years. Nobody quoted me. Now they think I know something. I like this. And it went to their head. And then they became the voice of, oh my God. And then next thing you know, whenever there was something on TV, they said, we're talking to a syndicated columnist and talk radio person. And I remember one time, I used to love this. They would say, what do your listeners think about this? Like, I don't know. What the callers think is a different story. Listeners, I have no idea. One time somebody would say, I'll never forget this. They did not like this. He goes, what do you feel about this? The Bangladeshi, he used to say, what the hell do I know? I do a radio show. I'm not briefed on this by the government. Well, they didn't care for that. Some of us liked to have an opinion, but didn't want to take ourselves too seriously. Enter Candace Owens. She wants to be the force, and she is going to step in it and on it, if you know what I'm talking about. And once they get, once you're the, you know what? We haven't really impaled anybody in a long time. There's really been no media crucifixions. There was a guy years ago, you probably don't remember this. His name was the Grease Man. We'll leave it at that. I never saw anything like this. The first time I said, these people just like destroying somebody. Okay, he made a mistake, but oh, no. She just doesn't know how to do it. That's all I'm going to say. Just watch what happens. Watch what happens, because I know you like the business, and the business part is really interesting. Barry Taylor says, why did Kamala stare at the orange juice carton? Because it said concentrate. You are so funny. Thank you. Thank you for that. Kamala has no idea what's going on. None. So this week, my friends, wait till the Palestinian folks come in. And I've been asking you about this, and I've been saying, what is she going to do when she's asked specifically, what is your position regarding this? What is your position? Do you believe, Kamala, do you believe, and this is the issue, that Israel, now I'm not asking you whether you believe it or not. It doesn't even matter. I don't even care what you believe. I want her to answer this question. Do you believe that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza or regarding the Palestinians? Yes or no? That's it. That's it. Trump will say, no, I know that, Trump. No, we know that. Thank you. Because the Republicans are pretty much, one thing about Republicans, they believe kind of in the same thing. Maybe some variations, but for the most part, and they vote. Now, Democrats, you got the Nancy Pelosi group. Well, she's probably. You got the Chuck Schumer group, and then you got the AOC group, and people are saying, well, then you got the Bernie Bros. Then you got some pretty serious. Then you got the Amy Goodmans out there, and then you got these other lefties. And I use the term lefty not as a pejorative, but go down the list. And they're saying, you're damn right. Hell, you've got Judge Napolitano, Mearsheimer, McGregor, Scott Ritter, I go down the list, Jeffrey Sachs, people who were all over and others all over the ideological political spectrum, all saying, oh, it's genocide, it's apartheid, it's ethnic cleansing. Absolutely. You got the Europe, you've got the UN, you've got the Human Rights Watch, you've got Shin Bet, you've got everything. It is like absolutely. But in our country, crickets never comes up. What? Never comes up. Most people say, what are you talking about? What? I try to tell friends of mine in Europe, you don't understand. In Europe, they think differently. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. What does she say? If she loses, either way, if she says, Israel has got to stop, you lose the prototypical, and I'm not bringing up APAC or anything like that. I'm telling you, there was a contingent of there who said, whoa, 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 whoa. You've got prototypically, historically liberal Jewish folks, Upper West Side types. You've got folks who just believe in this Middle East. You've got others. You've got Christian Zionists. You've got Christian scientists. You've got Zionists. You've got all these people who are going to say, yo, what? Then you've got a group of people who are going to say, well, that's more like our liking. These are the people who are going to be protesting. If she says, no, this isn't genocide, guess what? Thank you very much. And then you've just alienated huge swaths of this group. Bernie, AOC, the squad, they primaried Ilhan Omar. She made it. Cori Bush, they bounced her. Bowman, got rid of him. This is it. This is exactly where I would go. It would be to me like finding a tectonic plate and sending Tesla waves, directed energy. I know you love directed energy waves right into it to inspire and to bring about a seismic event. That's what I would do. That's what needs to be done. Draw them out. Remember, in warfare, you use like a NATO round is important because if you're hitting there and you hit somebody, you'll wound them, and that brings the medics out to help the fallen buddy. Think about what leaves the most damage. This is warfare, intellectual and political. Edie Crowley says, how many Dems did it take to screw in a light bulb? None. Too busy twerking. You are funny. Wig. Will the super mayor be a Dem delegate? I hope so. Tiffany Henyard, is my favorite. Will Fannie Willis be there? Will Fannie Willis, the voice? Remember, her father is a very accomplished, a very well-known, as is Kamala's father, who's a Marxian economist. We'll see. There is an absolutely fractured group in that. And I want to do everything to win. Remember something here, my friends. This is political chess. Chess, 79 days to go. This is political chess. This is 4D, 3D. This is the most important, the most critical type of psychological, communicative warfare there is. And listen to me carefully, what primarily motivates these people is anti-Trump hatred, not pro-Kamala favoritism. You cannot win being anti. This is politics. You get to vote. It's not like watching a sports team. When the Yankees and the Red Sox are on the field, they don't give a damn what you feel. Oh, you might help them with maybe a little bit of the crowd reaction, but they're playing a game. This one is, no, you decide who gets to win, not the players. The question is, we get to vote. Will those votes be counted? Will those votes be accurately counted? Has there been anything up till now that we know nothing about, which involves, sadly enough, people who are, dare I say, who have arranged for some form of, I don't know what the word is, some type of proxy voting or something? You've got millions of new folks who are here, and they were not brought to this country because we all of a sudden love them, because the Democratic Party loves them. They were there to replace or to supplement or to whatever it is regular conventional voters because they want a number of things. Number one, they want to repeal the filibuster. Number two, they want to pack the Supreme Court. Number three, they want to make D.C. the 51st state, and they want to have a permanent Democratic majority. How do those millions of new illegals, how does that play? So we have a lot to talk about. But watch carefully and watch the response and watch what happens and be ever mindful. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't necessarily remember it's going to be a production. Between you and me, I thought the Republican RNC convention was a joke. Dana White? Chris Rock? What? Hulk Hogan? Okay. All right. Not for me. Granted, that's not the only thing that was there. I understand it. But listen, do those things matter? Not really. Watch what they say. They're going to say, this was the most magnificent time. When she comes out, listen to me. They're going to do some things. First thing, crank up the volume and they're going to amplify the volume. Nobody ever says this or not, but the original, there's going to be different feeds that are out there, okay? And somebody got to be careful, but there's a way to pump up the volume, pump up the perspective. They're going to be paying people. You're going to see already all the shots of people going crazy when they drop the balloons, when Doug, keep an eye on Tampon Timmy when he does his jazz hands and does that silly Bob Fosse, I don't know, whatever that is. It's going to be weird. Let's see if they bring the creepy daughter-in-law. I hate this thing. I hate those reactions. So anyway, a lot to talk about. So anyway, stay tuned. We will continue talking about that. All right. So dear friends, to our beloved, to Gwig, to Edie Crowley, bless you. Barry Taylor, thank you. Cobbs, thank you. Crypto, of course. Big Dick from Chi-Town. Clapton, thank you. Diamond Jump. And our buddy Ryan, thank you as well. And Brad Rung, thank you for your love and your attention, trying to keep me straight, moving in the right direction. All right, dear friends. Also, thank you for being with us last night with Mrs. L. It was wonderful. I thank you for that. Follow her at Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. And if you missed last night's live, go to Lynn's Warriors and watch it on YouTube. It was beautiful. It was one of the most, it was fantastic. We'll see you later. Make sure you subscribe to, what am I trying to say? To Lionel Nation. Almost forgot. You know, when you talk an hour and 8 minutes straight, you kind of go on. Make sure you follow that. And also Lionel Legal. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you later tonight at 7. And don't forget, until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That.